It's been really interesting and eye-opening to read all of the comments that have been coming into all the videos. Apparently, there are so many of you who struggle with finding your voice, using your voice, expressing yourself authentically and honestly. And some of you have developed real physical problems with your voice over the years because of a variety of reasons. And there have been a few comments where some of you have said things like something to the effect of, what if my voice is too damaged? What if it's too damaged to ever sound pretty? What if there's no hope for me to ever sound good? And a lot of these comments are regarding singing voices. And so I was thinking about this over the weekend and I wanted to address this because I think it's a thought form that can really hold you back. And I don't think that it should hold you back. Some of the comments even expressed terrible things like a choir director telling a child that they couldn't sing and that they couldn't be in the choir. Or in another situation, there was a church director that told somebody they couldn't sing in front of everybody. These are terrible things to say to anybody. And I want you to know that as a voice teacher, I can tell you, first of all, it is very difficult to teach voice. It's very difficult to teach pitch. And I think what's happening with teachers like this is that they're trying to cover up for the fact that they don't know how to teach you. It's not really about you. It's really about them. They don't know how to teach. And I'm telling you, I don't judge them for not knowing how to teach. I judge them for trying to blame it on you. It's very difficult to teach this stuff. And so instead of owning up to it, they go ahead and they try to make you feel like it's your fault in order for them to save face. It's not cool. They shouldn't be doing this. But the bottom line is everybody is capable of singing. Even if you have physical problems with your voice, if you have scarring on your vocal folds, if you have developed calluses from abusing your voice, screaming a lot, or perhaps there was a period of your life when you smoked a lot, even if you consumed a lot of alcohol, or just any kind of general health problem that created problems for the physical mechanism of your voice, yes, you can still be a good singer. And I wanted to give you an example. I compiled a long list. I won't read everybody because I have a pretty long list here of musicians with scratchy voices. Scratchy voices implies damage. Scratchy voices don't happen from a healthy voice. Think about the last time you were sick, the last time you had congestion, a sore throat, and you developed that raspy sound. I don't know how many of you watched Friends, but there's an episode where Phoebe gets sick and she loves the sound of her voice because she develops that hoarseness, that very low, very sexy sound that is very easily achieved when your voice is damaged. So I wanted to address this issue by listing some musicians or some singers who have this natural raspiness. Rod Stewart, Tom Waits, Janis Joplin, Joe Cocker, one of my favorites, Louis Armstrong. And then in the rock and roll category, we can always find this. Kurt Cobain, Eddie Vedder, Stevie Nicks even has a little bit of a huskiness to her voice. Bonnie Tyler, Kim Carnes, the singer of Betty Davis Eyes. And then in the country category, I came up with, well, I guess it's more like a folk category, but Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan is famous for being somebody who people always describe him as having a bad voice, but they love him. And I think that's very interesting that people describe him as having a bad voice, yet they'll acknowledge that he's one of their favorite singers. Why is that? Let's address why these singers are so popular despite having these rough around the edges voices. All of these singers, what made them so amazing is the way they expressed themselves. They did not let the texture in their voice hold them back because they had something to express and they expressed it. What I'm saying is they had feeling. They had feeling when they performed. They had conviction. They believed in what they had to say, and they didn't let anything stop them. Now, their pitch was good, okay? And considering they had some rough sound to their voice, their technique was still good. They understood how to use their gut to power up that sound. They knew how to open up their throat to get more sound to come out. And they knew how to make their sound more resonant by working with the roof of the mouth. So, as you're doing the exercises that I share here, and if you're doing exercises with your own voice teacher or whatever method you're using, please keep it in mind. It doesn't matter if you have some damage to your voice. You can still sound amazing as long as you sing with conviction and feeling. So, here's your journal prompt for today. I want you to write about what you believe in. What are your convictions? What are some things that you feel strongly about? What are some things that you feel passionately about? And then I want you to make a list of songs that convey those kinds of strong feelings. Then I want you to turn it on and sing along. Extra bonus points if you find a karaoke version on YouTube and sing along with that. If you can just be there with your own voice or sing it a cappella, it's up to you. But I want you to practice feeling it when you sing. You gotta feel it. No singer sounds good, no matter how good their technique is or how elegant and smooth the texture of their voice is, if they don't have feeling. So start working on feeling and conviction when you sing, and you're gonna start to sound better automatically. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have you tried this? Do you feel that it's true? Who are some of your favorite singers who have bad voices? I want to know. And if this resonates with you, please subscribe and consider signing up for my email list. You'll get a free guide, a beginner's guide to healing trauma through voice, bodywork, and nutrition. And when you do sign up for that, make sure you check your spam box and then add my contact information to your safe list so that you get the emails in the future. Thanks so much for being here. I admire you for working on your voice. I admire you for working on healing. And I want you to make sure that you keep going on this journey because the world needs your unique voice. I'll see you in the next one.